My name's Austin. Welcome, bienvenidos a mi channel. And in this video, I want to talk about common mistakes that people make in their 20s. And I am a person who is unfortunately ending his 20s. In about a year and a half, I will no longer be in my 20s. And throughout these last 8 years, I have made many mistakes and I have seen people make a lot of mistakes in their 20s. So in this video, I want to talk about it. And the main message that I want to put in this video is that no matter who you are, no matter how you live your 20s, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to take risks. But there's mistakes worth taking, and there's mistakes that are not worth taking. And the mistakes that are not worth taking are mistakes that are going to affect you long term, that are going to cost more than just a tiny little learning experience. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 10 different mistakes that I see people make in their 20s that I do not think are worth taking. So let's begin. Number 1, student debt. I have never met anybody who took out student loans that didn't regret it. It didn't matter how prestigious of a school they went to, and it didn't matter how much they were currently making. Student debt is a trap that will keep you trapped for a very, very long time, and it's going to affect you very long term if you take student loans out. It is possible to graduate college debt-free. I did it. I made a video about it. I'll link it in the description, but it is very possible to graduate college debt-free. So do not make the mistake of taking on student loan debt. Number 2, accumulating stuff. In the United States, we often are taught and we often believe that happiness comes from external things. It comes from the newest phone or a new car. But I believe that the more external you search for happiness, the more you try to find happiness through possessions, the less happy you're going to be. I think that when you accumulate stuff, you get trapped. You get trapped maybe with debt. You get trapped with lack of mobility also because you're unable to move because you have so much stuff. So don't spend your 20s accumulating stuff because eventually those things will start to own you. Number 3, rushing into a career. In my early 20s, I did a lot of traveling around the world. And one thing that I was told that I'll never forget is to not spend too much of your 20s working because you have your entire life to work. Most people right after college start their career and they spend the rest of their 20s working. But your 20s is a time when you're going to have the least amount of commitment and the most amount of freedom in your life. So don't think and don't spend your entire 20s working. Number 4, moving out of your parents' house. Now, I'm not saying that you should wait till you're 30 until you move out of your parents' house. I'm just saying that you shouldn't rush to move out of your parents' house if that's possible. So many people after they turn 18, they want to move out of their parents' house, but this is often too early and rent is expensive. So instead of spending too much money on rent in your early 20s, try to live with your parents a little bit more and use that money for more meaningful things like paying off college tuition or traveling the world. Number 5, getting a car payment. Just don't do it. Because if you spend all your money on a car payment, what's going to happen is all you're going to be doing is making money and using that car to get to work. And that car is not going to do anything for you. So just get yourself a piece of shit Honda and call it a day. Number 6, credit card debt. Now this is the basic principle of money. Whenever you're saving, you're giving to your future self. But whenever you're taking out debt, you're stealing from your future self. So don't take out credit card debt because if you do that, you're going to be stealing from your future self and putting yourself in a really tough spot in the future. Number 7, not traveling. Traveling is an incredible thing to do and it's extremely easy to do in your early 20s because you don't have that many responsibilities and you don't have that many commitments. From the ages of 19 to 26, I traveled to 35 countries around the world and it was incredible. And it was so easy to do because I was so young and I wasn't tied down by anything. Now I'm 28 and it's a little bit more difficult because I have a rent and I have an adult job and I can't just get up and go as easily as I could. So do it when you're young because it gets harder as you go on in life. Number 8, not taking a gap year. Just like number 7, traveling is an amazing thing to do and it broadens your mind and you learn so many things about the world and about yourself. So don't miss the opportunity to take a gap year. I have a video of 20 gap year ideas. I'll link it down in the description of very cheap gap year ideas that you can do with very little money. Number 9, not learning about investing. The stock market is one of the most incredible tools to build your wealth over time, and your 20s are the best time to start. I don't think you should spend your 20s trying to get rich, but you should spend some of your 20s learning about investing and learning about the stock market. One of my favorite books in the investing strategy that I use is in the book, The Simple Path to Wealth. And I'm gonna link it down in the description, and I recommend you read it. It's an incredible book to learn about the stock market. It's very, very simple to understand. Number 10, taking yourself too seriously. The reality is, in your 20s, especially in your early 20s, a lot of people aren't gonna take you seriously. And instead of worrying about this and trying to suck up to everyone, just embrace it, because your whole life you're gonna be taken very seriously. And as you get older, you're gonna have more responsibilities and you might have more stress in your life. So in the meantime, in your 20s, just embrace it and don't take yourself too seriously either, because no one else is. And those are the 10 mistakes that I think you should avoid in your 20s. Because remember, we're all going to be making mistakes in our 20s and the rest of our lives. But there are some mistakes that are worth taking, and there are some mistakes that are not worth taking. And I think those 10 mistakes are not worth taking. Your 20s are an incredible time in your life. It's going to be the time when you have the most freedom and the least amount of responsibility in your life. So embrace it and enjoy your 20s and make mistakes, but don't take any mistakes. They're going to cost you too much in the future. And with that, thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy this video, please show your support by clicking the like button, subscribe to my channel, comment down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And with that, muchas gracias y que tenga un buen día. Nos vemos, chicos.